Most of the time, we find ourselves having to perform a task that has to go through a lot of processes. This kind of tasks do not fit into a to-do list or a task manager. Instead, they require a system that allows the process to become easier and smooth. And that's where the Kanban system comes in. The Kanban system is a simple system used to organize and track work as it goes through a process. It helps to organize your work and your workflow by harnessing the power of visual management. The Kanban system originated from Japan and was first incorporated by the Japanese automobile manufacturing company, Toyota. The word Kanban is a Japanese word which means signboard. These signboards were used and are still being used by Japanese organizations and businesses to draw passersby's attention and tell them about the services they render. In 1950, one of the executives in Toyota, Taiichi Ohno, decided to use this method to help Toyota revolutionize its manufacturing process and its ability to satisfy its customers. This method was used to build a just-in-time philosophy in which automobiles and products were built when needed and the right amount needed. These days, the Kanban method has found applications in various areas and fields. Aside the professional use of this method can also be applied in our personal lives. And the first person to come up with a personal Kanban was Jim Benson. He is the co-author of the book, The Personal Kanban. Use the Kanban method if your tasks are more like a project that needs to be carried out for a long period, or if you like to gamify your tasks, if you like a visual representation of your tasks, and probably if you're a fan of Toyota. So, how do you use the Kanban method? First, let's look at the anatomy of the Kanban method. At the core of the Kanban method is the Kanban board. The Kanban board is a visual representation of a work item as it moves from one workflow step to another. Let me break it down. The Kanban board has 4 main components, which are the Kanban card, Kanban column, work in progress limits, and the Kanban swim lanes. The Kanban card is a visual representation of a work item which allows you to view important work information. It may contain things like tasks to be done, deadlines, bug reports, links, comments, job descriptions, and I think you get the gist. Moving on, we have the Kanban column, and this represents the different stages of your workflow. Each Kanban card moves through these columns from left to right. The simplest Kanban board has 3 columns, which are to do, doing, and done. However, you can have more workflow stages depending on how complex your project is. Work in progress limits, on the other hand, is an important principle you need to put in mind when using the Kanban method. It is used to put a limit to the number of work that should be in the different workflow stages. And having a work in progress limit helps you to remain focused on the current task. The last but not the least, the Kanban swim lanes. These are horizontal lines that helps to separate one project from the other on the Kanban board. This allows your Kanban board to give room for more than one project. Now, how do you set up your Kanban board? The first step to setting up your Kanban board is to choose your Kanban tool. As I said earlier, the Kanban board can be a physical or a digital workspace. An example of a physical Kanban board could be a whiteboard, a cardboard, or even a sheet of paper from a notebook. And the Kanban card can be a sticky note. You can also decide to use digital apps that allows or have the Kanban system. Examples of such apps are Trello, Notion, and Todoist. The choice is yours. Whatsoever method you decide to use is totally up to you, and it doesn't affect the efficiency of the system. The second step is to set up your Kanban column. Your Kanban board can have any number of columns depending on how complex your project is. For instance, a Kanban board for a writing process can have 5 columns, one for research, drafts, editing, review, and published. However, if your project is not as complex as that, you can stick to the more generalized Kanban method, which includes 3 columns: to do, doing, and done. The last step is to create your Kanban cards, and when you're ready to start working, all you have to do is to move these tasks from one column to another until your job or project is finally done or completed. Let me show you my video creation Kanban board. I have chosen Notion as my Kanban tool. Back to my content creation Kanban board. As you can see, I have the idea column, the research column, the script writing column, filmed column, editing column, in review column, and the published column. So this is where all my ideas go into. Not all of these ideas eventually get worked on, but if I'm ready to work on any of the ideas here, I move them from left to right across the Kanban board. So these are Kanban cards, and these are the Kanban columns. This is the Kanban swim lane, and this whole thing is my Kanban board. Now, when this is the video I'm working on, the Kanban method, and when it gets published, I will take it up to the published column right here. Now, these are the videos I've published over time. This is one of the video on my YouTube channel, why you should create systems rather than setting goals. And here I have information. So as I told you, Kanban cards are the ones that have like your work information. So we have like status, published, link, the type, the media, the deadline, publication dates, playlists, and so many things. Then we have the scripts here, and that's my video creation Kanban board. If you need a template, you can search on Google Kanban templates and you will get loads of templates to start with. Quick tips on using the Kanban system. The Kanban system has two main principles. First, visualize your system. Second, limit your work in progress. It is very necessary to visualize your work when using the Kanban method. Don't visualize it in your head. Ensure that it is something you can see physically on a board or on a device. Also ensure that your work or tasks in progress are not more than 3, as this can disorganize the system. The Kanban method has a lot of advantages. It ensures that you are doing the right work at the right time. It also helps you to discover bottlenecks, which are blockages in your workflow. And the ability to discover these bottlenecks allows you to tackle them before they cause any derail or damage in your work. The Kanban method allows you to know your priorities and gives you a visual representation of your work status. Seriously, this system is very simple and flexible. You can give it a try and tell me your thoughts about it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, as it will help this video get discovered. And also don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.